When I started wargaming in the very early 1970s, 1972, we had structure. So when I went to the Wargames Club, we used things like this. Wargames Research Group. These are ancient rules. And it tells you everything. Measurements, scale, ranges. Men fought in specific sized blocks. All very formal. That didn't prepare me for what was about to happen. In 1978, I was vaguely aware of a game called Dungeons and Dragons. There was mention of it. But I was a historical gamer, so there was no mention of it in my historical Wargames Club. I found a shop in a magazine. Nothing online, remember? I couldn't afford to make telephone calls. And anyway, those days I'd have had to go 2 miles to the telephone box. Oh, that me pips didn't go. Pip, 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 pip. Oh, but I'll run out of tums. I digress. You get a coupon in a magazine and you go, oh look, Sorcerer's Cave, you stick it, fill your name and address in, send your postal order or your cheque or whatever it is you've got, some stamps, self-addressed envelope, and we'll send it back. And I sat and waited. And I waited, and then I got a note through the door from the postman saying, parcel wouldn't fit through your letterbox, go to the post office and pick it up. So I did. And I'm expecting a box. I know what the Sorcerer's Cave looks like, it's in a box. That's not what I got. What I got was a thin brown envelope, that sort of A4 size. And I thought, that's weird. But hey, home. Ever curious, because we're gamers, aren't we? I took it home and I opened it, and out slowly came, get it the right way around, this. Now I have to admit, it was in better condition when it arrived in 1978 than it is now. And it cost Tomb of Horrors £2.50. It's got price list on the back there, look. Well, I don't know why you'd want to see that. Not the original date I got it. I don't know why things like this are exciting me. It's a date. I know you've all seen the date before. I mean, I knew what fantasy was. This is my miniature figurines, 1974 Orc and Goblin Army, published under license to the Tolkien estate. So I had figures, and I had elves, and I had dwarfs. We did fantasy war games, but our fantasy war games were large scale. Helm's Deep, Battle of Pelennor Fields, Scouring of the Shire. That's not this. I did not know what that was. And when you open it, it doesn't really tell you. It isn't the Dungeon Master's Guide, it's not the Player's Guide, it's just a module. I was at a loss. Part of me thought about sending it back. And then I thought, well, hang on, it's different. Whatever it is different. I'll give it a read. So over the next week I read it, and I began to make notes about the system. See, one of the things it has in this early system, and I've done a short about it, if you've got 4 players, you don't have to generate who they are. It tells you, it says, party of 4, you have got these figures. Allocate them to your players, and then you go to the equipment or the sort of immediate equipment they're wearing and carrying, and that's what they've got. And then it says, let them equip themselves Let them have a bit of money, but put limits on it. Really, it's a bit more specific than that, but that's pretty much what it says. Be sensible. Don't let a halfling carry as much as an ogre, I suppose. And you're limited in the characters you can have. But you're even more limited than I remember. I thought you've got a choice, but you don't. If you've got 3 players, it tells you who they're going to be. I still didn't quite understand what, like an elf's got a dexterity of 18. So I had to think about what dexterity, I know about dexterity, but what does it mean for an elf? He's more agile, nimble, than a dwarf whose dexterity was about 9. Charisma, I don't know how you play charisma in a game, I never had. I began to sort of formulate some opinions. I changed things because I didn't understand them. Now, by the end of the second week, I was getting excited to play this weird game. But I had no one to play it with. No one, nobody I knew in my college had heard of Dungeons and Dragons. Now, mind, Tomb of Horrors, no one had heard of Dungeons and Dragons. So I did what any self-respecting 21-year-old would do. I made my fiancée play. Now, 48 years later, she's my wife, so it can't have been all bad. Now, whether or not that's a tip for Valentine's Day, Kate or intended to play Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know, but it's worked for me, so think on. And I got some pals, my roommate, Si, and I got a couple of guys off the, with all these sort of dormitory accommodation, so off the land, what we called it, the landing. We had a game, and I used my miniature figurines, Tolkien figures. I'm not sure how successful it went. I had to do a lot of bumbling around, not quite knowing. I didn't understand the dice because they were weird. I'd only ever had D6s and average dice, all these 20s and stuff. That's pretty much my introduction to Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not sure why I think you might like that, but I suppose to me the tale, the moral of this story is, it's not a moral. Whatever, anyway, the point of this story is, I love role-play games, I love fantasy, I love making my own maps. I haven't necessarily strictly played Dungeons and Dragons since, I would say, 1982. So I haven't really played pure Dungeons and Dragons since 1982 until last month when I moved to where I live now, where there is a proper, straight up, no nonsense Dungeons and Dragons club, and I'm really enjoying it. I have come to Dungeons and Dragons because I ticked the wrong box on a coupon. Or did I tick the right box? Ta-ra, Chuck.